the City of Pembroke Pines for hosting the meeting tonight and providing the facility. Thank you. I'd like to thank the City of Miramar for being involved and coordinating with this effort. Thank you. Again, I'm with the Broward BMPO. I'd like to introduce our consultant team, beginning with Kimley Horn.
Stuart Robertson, Kimley Horn and Associates.
Commissioner Castillo's coming in.
Okay. Thank you, Carl.
Don Doe, Kimley Horn and Associates.
Hi everyone, Stephanie Garcia with Alta Planning.
And we have MRG here as well. I don't know if you would like to introduce yourself. Feel free.
Isela Carriol, Public Information. Environmental Information.
All right, I think that's everybody. Again, I'm with the Broward MPO. What does the Broward MPO do? We are a federally mandated agency. We plan, prioritize, and fund transportation projects throughout Broward County. We also do planning and engineering, and this is one of the projects we are doing planning for.
Could you wait till Commissioner Castillo is coming in right now?
Oh, it's coming right now? Okay. All right, are they here? Or?
Yes.
Okay. Don't know if a representative from Pembroke Pines or Miramar would like to come up and say a few words if you'd like. If not, that would be great too. Or...
This is your show. Let the healing begin.
Okay, sounds good. All right, we're going to do a brief presentation, real brief, and then we're going to open up the floor. We're going to have people at the rollouts. We're going to be taking your comments, taking your questions. Any comments you have, feel free to write them on the maps we have. Feel free to mark them up if you feel like drawing. Do that as well. Be creative, we like that. A bit of background about the project. It really came from the Complete Street Master Plan that the Broward MPO put together about 4 or 5 years ago. And this project became a priority within that plan. We had a walking audit in 2023 where our project team, including many of you, walked the entire length of both corridors, gathered a lot of data, gathered a lot of other information. We had a meeting back in October. We got a lot of good feedback. With that feedback, we heard a few priorities from the public. We heard you wanted a safe, protected, separate bike lane on Miramar Parkway and Pembroke Road. You definitely wanted that to be a priority. We heard you. We tried to include that in the modified alternative you have before you today. Overall, you wanted both corridors to be safer, operate better, have slower traffic, and we tried to provide that as well. I'm going to hand it off to Stuart. He'll take you through the details of both projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. So my name is Stuart. I'm with Kimley Horn and Associates. We're the consultant team that are supporting the Broward MPO, as well as the cities of Pembroke Pines and Miramar on this project, which does come from the Complete Streets Master Plan that the MPO Governing Board adopted in 2019. So there are 2 corridors that are packaged together as part of this project for funding through the Complete Streets Master Plan, which is a priority of the Broward MPO's Metropolitan Transportation Plan. So as we have 2 corridors, I'm going to go through the Miramar Parkway corridor first. The Miramar Parkway corridor is shown on the right side as you're looking at me. If you're in the audience, look on your right side, Miramar Parkway. That's the boards and the map that you see on your right. The second corridor is on Pembroke Road, and that's on the boards and the map that you see on your left. It's also important to note that for Miramar Parkway, this is a very long road, but we're looking at the section between 172nd Avenue and 160th Avenue. So this is the section west of I-75 from 172nd Avenue to Dykes Road. So the recommendations that we have made based on our field assessment, our technical analysis, and the community input that we received back in October when we had a public meeting just like this at Miramar Police Department include to implement wider sidewalks on Miramar Parkway, separated bicycle lanes, so taking the bicycle lanes that we have, which are currently on road, and moving them to be up on the curb, basically separated from roadway traffic, adjacent to pedestrians on the sidewalk. We also are recommending bus stop boarding area expansions so that we have more room for accommodating bus passengers that are boarding and alighting from the bus stops. We are recommending special emphasis crosswalks at all of the signalized intersections and 3 new signalized intersections with special emphasis crosswalks along the corridor. So the renderings that you see on the left of this slide, the image on the top shows an existing photo of the intersection of Miramar Parkway and the Miramar Regional Park. And the image on the bottom of the slide portrays what it would be in the future, with a traffic signal added, bicycle lanes that are protected for traffic, and crosswalks at this location. So on the boards that we have around the room for Miramar Parkway, again, that's going to be on your right as you're in the audience looking at Miramar Parkway is going to be on the right. We have different sections that show you the proposed design for each of the corridors. So for Miramar Parkway, we are proposing to maintain all of the existing travel lanes. So there's 3 lanes in each direction today. There will be 3 lanes in each direction in the future. The bicycle lane is being moved to be on the curb, adjacent to the sidewalk, rather than adjacent to the roadway like it is today. In order to accomplish this, we're proposing to reconstruct the drainage of the roadway. So the curbs will have to move inward so that we can accommodate the bicycle lane adjacent to the sidewalk rather than adjacent to the roadway. We also have a map that shows how this would look if you're looking at it sort of on an aerial photograph. And that is the long map that you see on the table to your right here. And this shows an entire design from 172nd Avenue in the west all the way to Dykes Road or 160th Avenue in the east. It also shows the locations of the new signals that we're proposing. One is at the Target Shopping Center entrance, located here. This is a very busy intersection. It's currently a median opening where people move outward from the Target Shopping Center and access 172nd Avenue from Miramar Parkway. It also shows the medians that are to be maintained and the additional, it also shows one additional turn lane westbound on Miramar Parkway at 172nd Avenue. So taking that intersection from 1 left turn lane to 2 left turn lanes. Then moving along the corridor, you see the intersection at Miramar Regional Park. This is a location that we're also proposing a new signal. This would allow for signalized access to the park as well as to the uses on the south side of the road. And at 164th Avenue, a proposed signalized intersection with a crosswalk that would facilitate access to Dolphin Bay Elementary School. And then this is the easternmost of the map on Miramar Parkway. It shows the intersection at 160th Avenue. This is the intersection where the design would then tie into the existing typical section east of 160th Avenue. The second of the 2 corridors is Pembroke Road. And the study area that we have identified is from 145th Avenue to Flamingo Road. So this study area is east of I-75. The recommendations in this area include also widening the sidewalks, providing separated bicycle lanes, providing connectivity improvements to the proposed Flamingo Greenway, providing new crosswalks at intersections and on sides of intersections that don't currently have crosswalks, and a special emphasis crosswalk markings at those locations. So the alternative that we are recommending for this corridor includes separated bicycle lanes. So rather than having bicycle lanes adjacent to the roadway, putting those bicycle lanes adjacent to the sidewalk through a design such as this, which would have a horizontal separator between the bicycle lane and the sidewalk, maintaining both travel lanes, 2 eastbound and 2 westbound travel lanes, as well as all turn lanes that currently exist. There's also a proposed additional eastbound right turn lane at Flamingo Road. So the map on your left, as you're looking in the audience toward me, shows the layout of this proposed design on Pembroke Road from 145th Avenue to Flamingo Road. It includes the separated bicycle lanes on both sides, upgrading the crosswalks on each signalized intersections to be special emphasis markings, means that these are more visible to motorists. In this area, 136th Avenue, a signalized intersection with upgraded pedestrian crosswalk markings. At 129th Avenue, having proposed crosswalk markings and signals on both sides. And at Flamingo Road, the connection to the Flamingo Greenway, which is part of the Broward County Greenways Master Plan and an important project for the city of Pembroke Pines as well. So that is a preview of the design. And once we finish the formal presentation and after we take questions and answers, we want to really have more focused conversations with you about each one of the corridors, one of the corridors that you are most interested in, where we can take your feedback on the design for each one of the corridors. So we'll have project representatives at each one. Pembroke Road, again, is on your left. If you're sitting in the audience looking at me, Pembroke is on your left. Miramar Parkway is on your right. I'm going to pass back to Mark, who's going to finish the presentation. We'll take questions and answers in a formal group setting, and then we will disperse to the 2 different corridors to continue the conversation in a more conversational way on each one of the corridors.
All right, thank you, Stuart. Luckily, we do have funding allocated for Pembroke Road. We have design funding allocated in 2025, and we have construction funding available in 2028. That will definitely help speed up the project. Next steps, we'll be taking your feedback. Hopefully we get a lot of feedback from you. We want to hear everything. We'll be compiling it, incorporating your comments into the plan, modifying it, and refining the preferred alternative. We have websites for both projects, the URL up there. You don't have to write that down. I'm going to email you the PowerPoint, and you'll be able to click on that to get to the websites. We'll keep them updated with the latest renderings and graphics. Our goal would be to hand off the Pembroke Road project in April or May. We'll be handing it off to our engineering team, where they'll work on the project in more detail and get it ready for construction by 2028. With that, we'll do a quick Q&A, and then we'll do a breakout where we'll get your feedback from there. Thank you. Yes.
So there's the Pembroke Road to US 27 project, which is being done in 3 phases.
Go back to that.
And phase 1 is supposed to begin in October of 2024. And that one, I believe, is between Dykes and 172nd, I believe, and then the next phase goes to like 196th, and then the last phase goes out. as I understand it, roughly speaking. So how does this, you're talking about 2028. Shouldn't all this work be done at once?
Yeah, how does this play into that extension of Pembroke Road, widening it and taking it all the way to US 27?
Yeah, I mean, our goal would be to coordinate with that project. I don't know if you know more about it.
Yeah, Mark, I think this is a separate effort from the extension of Pembroke Road
So
to
they're gonna do
US
Pembroke
27.
Road first, and then you guys are gonna come in and do it again?
Well, this is a separate section than the extension to US 27. The work on Pembroke Road that's proposed in the Complete Streets Master Plan is from Southwest 145th Avenue to Flamingo Road. So that's entirely east of I-75.
No, I'm talking about the Pembroke Road extension to US 27.
Right, that picks up,
It's a different funding pot.
it's a different funding pot, it's a different project, it's different limits. So the project that you're talking about, the extension US 27, will pick up at Dykes Road and go west.
Right.
This one picks up at 145th and goes east. So this one is east of I-75. Pembroke Road extension that is part of the US 27 project will pick up west of I-75.
So I thought you said it was between 160th, which is Dykes Road, and 172nd.
That's Miramar.
That's from Miramar Park.
And then this one,
Pembroke Road is from 145th Avenue to Flamingo Road.
and that's why you were talking about the connection to the Flamingo
Yeah.
nature trail there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what is the current category of level of service on that road now?
On Flamingo
Is
Road,
that a C road? Is that a,
it's currently operating at level of service D, which
Okay.
meets the city's comprehensive plan requirements.
so, once you're finished, what level of service do you anticipate?
Same. There would be no change to the level of service of the roadway because of no change to the traffic flow. Level of service is a measure of the experience that motorists have on the corridor. And so that would stay the same. Nothing that we're doing would propose any modifications to the level of service that motorists experience on the
So
corridor.
this is mainly to provide bike accommodation?
As well as additional safety for all users of the roadway, which unfortunately is not measured by level of service.
And in terms of street lighting, you're going to replace the street lighting, or it's going to stay the same?
That's a good question, Carl. I don't know if there's any input that you would have from city staff on the street lighting on the corridor. But that-
Yeah, I'm not sure that the street lights on Pembroke, which are on our side of the street, will be replaced with LEDs, and I'm not sure about if there are street lights on the south side. I'm not 100% positive. I don't think there are. So the street lights that are on the north side of Pembroke Road, are the LEDs are being replaced as we speak, or replaced to LEDs.
But you're not going to take the poles down?
No.
Well, last question, what will the total width of the new sidewalks be?
The sidewalks will be 8 feet wide, and the bicycle lanes will be adjacent to the sidewalks instead of adjacent to the roadway, and those will be 5 feet wide.
So if somebody had a golf cart, they could use the sidewalk?
They could use the sidewalk, yes.
Thank
It
you.
may not be legally required to be able to be there, but they could use it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions before we break out? Yeah.
Someone mentioned funding. This phase of what you're showing us tonight is coming from which pot of money?
That's coming from MPO attributable dollars within the CSMP portion of the MTP.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the MPO is currently updating its MTP for 2050, but the adopted MTP is 2045. And that includes a Complete Streets Master Plan pot of funding, which is capital dollars from the Federal Highway Administration
Yeah.
for upgrading roadways on the federal aid highway network. Both Pembroke and Miramar are on the federal aid network. And so the MPO is providing dollars from its federal cache of funds to upgrade these projects per the Complete Streets Master Plan.
So is it coming from the penny tax at all? The penny tax here in Broward County? Okay, thanks, Rick. The reason why I ask that is because, especially out in our communities, we want to see, I live west, I actually live in this district out by Chapel Trail. Love the bike lanes, love the walkability. And being a former PIO, I appreciate what you guys put out here. I just would encourage you all to make sure that you put it out to the general public on social media, for example, because I have 2 young children. We walk around these areas, they bike and scooter in these areas. Knowing that they're coming, I think would buy you a lot of goodwill with the public. So I would recommend you do that. And it's not on you guys, but when it comes to the penny, I think what I hear from a lot of my neighbors, I'm not an elected official, but I'm pretty plugged in, is we raised our taxes. Where are the projects in West Miramar, West Pines, what's coming from that penny tax? I lived through a half-penny nightmare in Miami-Dade County when I was with the mayor's office. That did not go the way it's supposed to go. So I know it's not on you all, but I do think there needs to be better communication on that specific funding stream and seeing what it is that we're actually getting out of it on the west side of Broward County. But you guys are doing great tonight. That's not a criticism of you all, and I think you all put something together very well tonight. So,
Thank you.
Thank you for the comments.
If there is a silver lining, this is federal funding that the MPO is able to attribute to priorities that it has.
I'm relieved to
within
hear
the-
that.
the
I'm
long
honestly
term.
relieved to hear that
Yeah.
because
There is an additional pot of funds, for those that may not be aware, through the penny surtax,
The
or
penny,
the People's Transportation Plan, I think it's called, PTP, or
Yeah, what's,
the Broward plan provides for a penny surtax on sales tax for transportation projects related to mostly transit. There's a premium transit plan that Broward County Transit has called the Primo Plan. There's also funding that goes toward building sidewalks and resurfacing roadways, those type of projects that are benefiting the community, but this funding is coming from the MPO's priorities for spending its federal dollars toward
no, I'm
improvements.
happy to hear that.
in-
No, I appreciate
in
you
the local area.
clarifying that.
MAP, that's the word I'm looking for.
MAP.
The Mobility Advancement Plan,
Right.
MAP funding.
Right.
Yeah, that's the county's plan to invest its penny surtax for projects related to transit, pedestrian improvements, other transportation
So
projects.
when they were rolling that out a few years ago, I was invited to kind of give a seminar on how best to communicate those projects as a volunteer. I went, and I haven't heard much from it, so that's why I was asking, are we mixing? But I'm happy to hear again that these are federal dollars, so.
Yeah.
yep. Okay, thank you.
Not to confuse multiple projects, but since it was brought up, the extension on Pembroke Road, would it also follow the complete streets and have cycle lanes and walkways separated from the physical vehicles? Would you guys know about that?
We, Carl and I talked about this when we saw the plan, and the comment was that we wanted them separated and away from the streets because the residents prefer it.
Yeah.
For safety. So if you guys want to put in 8-foot sidewalks, I think that's fantastic. And take the bike lanes out of the middle of the streets, because even the bikers are uncomfortable with it. And it's a dangerous scenario given our driving habits. And a big part of that street in Pembroke Road, that's right now a rural road, so it doesn't have any street lights. All the more reason why, care should be taken with respect to where we put bikes there, if we're going to invite them. So that's a good thing. And there are increasingly many people who want to use their golf carts to get to shopping, which takes cars off the road. And That's coming. That's not currently before the city, but that's on the radar. It's only a matter of time before we get asked to do that. So 8-foot sidewalks is good news.
All right, you want to break out?
So again, we
Feel free to
have
pick a table.
Pembroke Road on your left and Miramar Parkway on your right.